Hey, I have a client success story for you today, and I am so delighted to share this and celebrate once again by sharing this with you. When I look at emails and so forth from business coaches, I often see how they celebrate. Oh, their client had you know, maybe a 10K, 20K, 50K month, and they're so excited for them. Or they signed up 5 new clients. But rarely do you ever see a spiritual coach talk about the success of their clients. And so this is a big win for one of my clients. I'd like to share it with you. Why? Because I see, and I know for myself that many times women, they reach a goal, they're successful about something, and then they are moving right on to the next goal rather than giving themselves the opportunity and their soul and their whole being the opportunity to really enjoy the success. And so let me share this story of how my client was successful. We've been working for several months about her authentic self expression and really speaking up for herself and owning her worth and her value. So she went to the chiropractor, she told me, and said, okay, fine. Yeah. And so she said, I told him, what my left shoulder, his left shoulder, that my left shoulder was really out of whack. Okay, fine. And, gave him a little bit more information. And then she said, as she was getting on the table, that she said, oh, and I'm sorry, but I also I noticed that my right hip is really been tender and sore. And he said, well, you don't need to apologize. That's good information. I'll keep that in mind. And then she told me, as he started to adjust, and she was ready to say, I'm sorry, but could you please make sure to check my neck? But before she said those words, she stopped herself. That's the success because she didn't apologize for speaking her truth and asking for what she needed and wanted was to make sure that her neck was adjusted and aligned with the rest of her spine. She was thrilled. That was like the first thing she shared with me when we jumped on the call for her next session. And so anyway, before I get to that, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Catherine Walters, and I'm an intuitive ignition catalyst. And I help professional conscious women and ageless goddesses to step into their spiritual independence and have an authentic self-expression without minimizing themselves or overgiving or people pleasing. So this was an example of where one of the issues that my client had was in minimizing or not owning her own value and her own worth in asking for what she needed. Okay. And the thing is that professionally, hands down, that is absolutely not a problem for her. And I bet it's not a problem for you either, because you're able to hold your power. You're confident in what you do. You know that your product or the services that you offer, the leadership that you provide is absolutely phenomenal. There's no question about what you can deliver, the services that you offer. So there's no apologizing. Yet, and this is where many women are secretly embarrassed, is that when it comes to themselves, they, it's like it's an inconvenience, or I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, and I need you to do this. So I'm sorry for telling you how to do your job. And they're apologizing for asking for what they need. Does that sound familiar? I wonder how that makes you feel inside when you do that, when you apologize, when you ask for what you need or want. Undeserving, maybe not important enough, a nuisance. Embarrassed? All of those. I asked my client how she felt after she had expressed and caught herself by not apologizing. And maybe you'd feel like this. She said, I felt powerful. I felt like I really felt like I was loving and accepting myself in that moment. And I said, yes, that's what we want to celebrate. Because everyone, and we're on this spirit, and every time you go on this spiritual path and you're growing on a spiritual path, every time you get to another level, all your stuff goes with you. And so you reach another level, then anything with self-worth or lack of value, deserving, that goes up there too. And it comes back to step into that next level with you. So when we shared that, when we celebrated that, we did, that was like a woohoo, and I wanted to jump up and down. I was so excited. I sent her an e-card and everything else. And the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is because you may be like Anne, where you are phenomenal when it comes to everything with your work, with your profession, and even maybe even for your children. You speak up, you're the advocate for them. And yet, are you the advocate for yourself? Well, if you're tired of this and you want to be able to speak up and for what you need and want on every level, including on a personal level for you, and you are ready to just value yourself, love and accept yourself, and know that, you know what, it's about time that it's like you're done with not in every area of your life. And you absolutely know that you are an amazing, unique, conscious, phenomenal woman. And maybe you're secretly embarrassed because you don't claim that, and you don't claim and stand in your power all the time. Then we need to talk, because I know I have helped myself through this. I've helped many clients as well to stand in their power, to speak their truth, especially in those challenging conversations where other people maybe intimidate you, or they're just difficult, whether it's with a spouse or a mother-in-law or a chiropractor, wherever. It doesn't really matter who it's with, but it's something where you want to own who you are as that powerful woman. And I know I can help you to be that powerful woman, to speak your truth, to stand up for yourself, to let go of all that conditioning and programming and those karmic patterns that have just repeated themselves over and over and over. And in a conversation, we'll talk about where it is that you might like feel that you're not deserving or not valuing yourself. And we'll look at what's possible, what's the real vision, just like with Anne, where she is able at that time, and if it happens once, it can happen again, where she can stand fully in her power. And I know you can too. And it all starts with a conversation. So let's chat. Love and blessings till I talk with you soon, and I'll talk with you soon. Namaste.